I'm a 29-year-old man who was adopted as a baby by my parents. They already had a son, my older brother, who was 3 years old at the time. 3 years after adopting me, they welcomed my younger sister into our family through adoption as well. I grew up in a warm, nurturing household. My parents treated all of us, my brother, their biological child, my sister, and me equally, with no favoritism shown toward my brother for being their blood relative. They were always honest about our family story, never hiding the fact that my sister and I were adopted. My parents didn't know much about our birth families, but they spoke of them with kindness and understanding, never casting them in a negative light. Perhaps because of my fulfilling upbringing, or maybe just my personality, I never felt curious about my biological roots. I never considered searching for my birth family or building a connection with them. I was content with my life and still am. My life is fulfilling. I have a loving wife, 2 wonderful children, supportive parents, great siblings, in-laws, and grandparents. To me, my family feels complete. 6 months ago, I was unexpectedly contacted by individuals claiming to be my biological parents. After verification, their claim proved true. They shared their story and expressed a desire to connect with me. They explained that they parted ways for 5 years after my birth, later reunited, had more children, and only recently began thinking about me over the past 2 years. Before that, I hadn't crossed their minds. Their children, my biological siblings, were particularly eager to meet me. Since that initial contact, I've received over 24 messages from their children. It took me about 11 weeks to respond, during which I politely explained that I'm happy with my life and have no interest in forming a connection, asking them to respect my wishes and leave me alone. I then blocked their accounts and set my social media to private. 3 weeks later, I received an email stating that they felt my decision was unfair and urged me to at least meet their children. I chose not to reply. 2 months after that, another email arrived, this time offering to share my family's medical history, but only if I agreed to meet them and spend time getting to know them. Soon after, I received an email from their children suggesting I reconsider why I'm unwilling to meet my true family and questioning my loyalty to parents who purchased me. For context, my biological parents were teenagers when I was born. They arranged my adoption through an agency without meeting or selecting my adoptive parents. The agency handled everything, and they left no letters or medical history for me. My adoptive parents wrote a letter to them at the time of my adoption, but my biological parents never claimed it and have shown no interest in reading it. Their children, mostly adults now, learned about me through other relatives, not directly from my biological parents. Their children were the ones who sought me out, locating me through an online private investigator, though I'm unsure how much of my personal information they have. They haven't mentioned the investigator's name, but I wish they had contacted me first so I could have declined directly. As far as I know, they're unaware of my marriage or children, which feels like a small relief. My adoptive family fully supports my choice, whatever I decide. However, some fellow adoptees I know have criticized my stance, saying they would cherish the opportunity I've been given. They believe it's selfish to deny my biological family a chance to know me and to keep my children from their biological relatives. This has led me to question whether I'm making the right choice. I don't feel wrong when I reflect on it, but I wonder if I'm being too closed off by not giving them a chance. I feel I shouldn't be obligated to do so. Am I wrong? I'm a 26-year-old woman, married to my 28-year-old husband for 5 years. My sister, age 30, also got married around the same time as us, but her marriage ended in divorce earlier this year. Recently, we gathered at my parents' house to celebrate our mother's 50th birthday, a rare occasion since all 6 of us siblings are seldom together. My husband joined me, but my sister seemed distant and irritable, speaking curtly to him and, frankly, to everyone. During the visit, my 20-year-old brother suggested a hiking trip. My sister expressed interest and asked if I wanted to join. I declined, explaining that my husband was working, I was caring for our toddler, and I preferred to stay with them. Plus, hiking with a fussy toddler didn't sound appealing. My sister rolled her eyes and remarked, "Wow, how clingy can you two be?" She added that she and her ex-husband were never so inseparable. I snapped back, maybe that's why your marriage ended, and walked off with my daughter. Later, my sister sent me a long message, calling me cruel and insensitive for bringing up her divorce and accusing me of being a terrible sister. My parents stayed out of it, as did most of our siblings, except my brother, who thought I was right but should have ignored her comment. My husband, naturally, supports me. For context, my sister and I aren't very close, the least connected of all our siblings. She's childless by choice and often commented on my second pregnancy during the visit, though those remarks didn't bother me as much. Am I wrong? I'm a 33-year-old woman with a high-pressure job that demands long hours and keeps me on call even after work, so I value my free time immensely. During college, I worked part-time at a bakery to fund my education, learning cake decorating from a skilled confectioner. After graduating, I left that job but occasionally make elaborate cakes for my partner, family, or close friends. My engineering background helps me create unique designs, but the real magic comes from crafting them with love and the recipient in mind. A few months ago, for my preschool-age daughter's birthday, I made a Rapunzel-themed cake with a tower, as she's obsessed with the character. I took a week off work to perfect it, and my daughter was overjoyed. The cake became a topic of conversation among her preschool friends and their parents. Last week, while picking up my daughter from school, I ran into a mom, let's call her Ollie, who attended the party. We'd only spoken briefly there. She mentioned that her daughter, Kara, loved my daughter's cake and was insisting on a similar one for her upcoming birthday. Ollie asked if I'd consider making one. I explained that the cake took significant time and effort, and I wasn't sure I could manage it. She persisted, and as I was in a rush, I said I'd think it over and let her know. She took my number before I left. That evening, I asked my daughter about Kara. She described Kara as bossy and said she isn't close with her, though they share a mutual friend. I decided it wasn't worth the effort and texted Ollie, politely declining due to my busy schedule and offering to recommend local bakeries for a custom cake. Ollie responded, insisting I make the cake, saying it would delight Kara and offering to pay me. I reiterated that it wasn't about money, but about time and effort, again suggesting bakeries. She countered that I'd found time for my daughter's cake, so I should be able to for Kara's. Frustrated, I told her it's not her place to decide, and I wasn't interested in continuing the discussion. She responded with insults, accusing me of disregarding her daughter's happiness. Am I wrong? 2 weekends ago, I went on a date with a guy who sent me this text this morning. Good morning. Hope you enjoyed your weekend. The total from our weekend was $212, so your share is $106, minus what you paid at Bitter and Twisted. Please send it via Apple Pay or let me know if you prefer another platform. He had asked me out for a full weekend Friday night, all day Saturday and Sunday. He covered most expenses, but I paid $70 at a bar and $40 for downtown parking. He kept suggesting we move to new spots each time we finished at one place. Sunday night, he invited me to his place for a movie, but nothing physical happened. Midweek, he asked me to come over again for a movie and to stay the night. I agreed to the movie but declined to stay over. During the movie, he kissed me, and I felt uneasy, sensing he wanted more, so I left at 3 a.m. He didn't contact me for 5 days until sending that text about splitting the bill. We never agreed to share costs, and it feels like he's upset because I didn't reciprocate his advances. I spent about $110 myself, but I never planned to ask him to split my expenses, as that feels petty. Is it wrong for me not to send him the $106? I'm a student who buys lunch for a friend at school, a scholarship student from a low-income family who's incredibly bright. Our school's food is pricey, so she usually brings a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I enjoy ordering from nice restaurants near our school, and I started using my pocket money to buy her lunch because I felt bad eating good food while she had the same simple meal daily. When my dad learned about this, he was proud and doubled my pocket money so I could get better food for both of us and have extra for other needs. My half-sister, a year older than me, attends the same school. My dad covers her tuition as he'd saved for it and promised to do so, even though he's no longer legally responsible for her. My mom struggles financially, so my half-sister also doesn't get nice food. Recently, she asked if I could buy her lunch too. I refused, saying it's not my responsibility and I can't afford to feed everyone at school. I pointed out that my dad already pays for her tuition, so what more does she expect? She called me selfish, and now my mom thinks I'm being unfair too. Am I wrong?